Welcome to the Autism Infocast. I'm Peter Clark, founder and chairman of the Autism Info Center. Our podcasts delve into every part of autism and neurodiversity, and we want to help you spread understanding, respect, and kindness for those whose lives are affected. Whether you're autistic yourself, or whether you know or care for someone who's autistic, or maybe you just come into contact with autistic people in everyday life. Either way, please feel free to check out our hundreds of articles, videos, books, and training courses at autisminfocenter.org. And I'll leave you now in the capable hands of today's hosts, Jemima and Theo. Over to you.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're jumping into a really universal experience, finding that connection, that joy, that intimacy in relationships. It's something we all look for, right? But how does it look when one partner, or maybe both, are autistic? How does that unique way of seeing the world actually shape the search for partnership? I'm really keen to explore this. It's such an important topic and honestly often misunderstood. So let's get into it in this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. The desire for love, for partnership, that's universal, no question. But the actual dynamics in relationships where autism is present, they can have some really distinct strengths and, yeah, some complexities too. And it's really about understanding those differences, differences in communication, how the world is experienced, not deficits. Our goal here really is to pull out those key insights for you. We want to celebrate the unique qualities, look at navigating challenges with real understanding, and most importantly, find those practical strategies for building strong, lasting connections.
That's a great way to put it. And maybe the best place to start is tackling that big, damaging myth. The idea that autistic people just aren't capable of deep, loving relationships. Our sources really push back hard against that.
They really do. It's just not true. And actually, the material we've looked at highlights some pretty remarkable strengths autistic partners often are. One thing that comes up again and again is this honesty, this directness.
Honesty and directness, how does that play out?
Well, it can create this incredibly strong foundation of trust. Real clarity. It sort of cuts through a lot of the maybe the social games. The guesswork. You often know exactly where you stand. It's like building on truth, even if it feels blunt sometimes. It avoids those unspoken things that often cause problems.
That actually sounds kind of refreshing. Less trying to read between the lines. Okay, so directness, that's one.
Yeah.
What about things like loyalty, commitment?
Oh, definitely. The sources consistently mention intense loyalty, real dedication. Many autistic individuals are described as incredibly reliable. Once they commit to a partner, that commitment is often like rock solid, unwavering. It's a really deep sense of dedication to the relationship itself.
Okay, and central to romance is, well, affection, passion.
Mm-hmm.
Does that look different? Is the feeling itself different, or just how it's shown?
It's mostly about the expression, not the depth of feeling. Autistic people feel emotions just as deeply, intensely as anyone, but how they show it might not always fit the typical mold. Think about the passion someone might have for a special interest, that incredible focus and energy.
Right.
That same intensity can absolutely be directed towards their partner, towards the relationship. It can lead to this really profound, deep bond. The affection is definitely there, just maybe expressed in ways that aren't always, expected.
I like that comparison to special interests. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned a unique perspective earlier. How does that benefit a partnership?
Yeah, it often means bringing a very logical, maybe objective viewpoint to problems. So when things get emotional, they might see a practical solution or a different angle that others miss. It can be really grounding, actually, like having a calm problem solver on your team when things get tough.
Okay, so we've talked about these really positive strengths, which is so important. But we also need to acknowledge the differences. And the sources really emphasize seeing them as differences, not problems to be fixed. So where do these differences usually show up most?
Communication is probably the biggest one, yeah. Neurotypical communication leans so heavily on nuance, subtext, all those nonverbal cues, tone, body language, facial expressions.
Which is often very different for autistic people, right?
Yeah.
In terms of how they communicate and how they interpret things.
Exactly. Communication tends to be much more literal, more direct for many autistic individuals. And that's where misunderstandings can creep in easily. Like a non-autistic partner might drop a hint expecting it to be picked up, but an autistic partner taking language literally might just miss it completely.
Okay, I can see that.
And the flip side is a very direct statement from an autistic partner, just meant to convey information clearly, might land as blunt or maybe uncaring to someone expecting softer language. It's just a fundamental mismatch in how messages are sent and received sometimes.
That makes sense. And if communication is different, how does that link to expressing and reading emotions? That must be connected.
Oh, deeply connected. Like we said, the feelings are there, often very intensely. But the outward expression might not look typical. So for an autistic person, trying to figure out how their partner is feeling just from subtle facial cues or body language, that can be genuinely difficult. And then their own emotional expressions might not always match what a neurotypical partner expects, leading to misinterpretations, like thinking they don't care when they actually care immensely.
I see. Okay, and then there's the physical side of things, intimacy. How do sensory sensitivities come into play?
That's a really significant factor. Sensory issues can really impact physical intimacy. A touch that feels comforting to one person might be genuinely overwhelming or irritating, even painful for an autistic partner with specific sensitivities. And it's not just touch. Think about sounds, smells, the lighting in the room, even the texture of the sheets. All of these can dramatically change the experience.
Wow, yeah.
It takes a lot of open conversation, really careful negotiation to find what feels good and safe for both partners.
Okay. And another big one, maybe especially relevant here, but common in many relationships too, balancing social time with alone time.
Yes, that's often a key difference. Partners might have very different needs for social interaction versus solitude. For many autistic people, social situations can be incredibly draining. They often need significant downtime afterwards just to recover, to sort of recharge their battery.
Recharge, right.
And it's so important to understand that this need for solitude isn't about rejecting their partner. It's not that they don't enjoy being with them. It's just essential for managing their energy, for their overall well-being, like needing sleep. It's not really optional for functioning well.
Got it. Okay, so we see the strengths, we understand some of the potential differences, these areas needing navigation. What helps couples make it work? What are the key strategies?
Well, the sources are really clear that effort and understanding are crucial. But the number one strategy, clear, explicit communication. It's probably the most powerful tool they have. Committing to being direct, being honest, saying what you mean.
No more guesswork.
Exactly. No relying on hints or assumptions. It benefits both partners hugely.
So like instead of, are you free later?
Yeah.
We may say, I'd love to have dinner tonight. Would 7 p.m. meter work? Just making it explicit.
Precisely. And checking in regularly to make sure you've understood each other. You know, okay, so what I'm hearing is X, is that right? That simple check can prevent so much confusion.
That seems so practical. What else?
Another big one is becoming an expert on each other. It's an ongoing process. For the non-autistic partner, it's not just about learning about autism in a general sense. Autism is a spectrum, right? A huge range of experiences. So it's about learning how your specific partner experiences the world. What are their triggers, their needs, their way of communicating affection?
And for the autistic partner?
It involves developing that self-awareness, learning to recognize and then articulate their own needs, their internal state, what triggers sensory overload for them. It's really a two-way street. Learning about each other and sharing that knowledge builds incredible closeness.
That makes a lot of sense, a shared learning journey.
Yeah. And that ties into establishing clear expectations and maybe some routines. Predictability can really lower anxiety for an autistic partner. So having open talks about, say, household chores or social plans or how you spend quiet time together, agreeing on these things clearly, creating some structure can make daily life much smoother, less stressful for everyone. It just removes a layer of uncertainty.
Clear expectations definitely help any relationship.
Okay, and there was one more strategy I really liked from the material connecting through shared interests.
Yes, that's such a positive way to build connection, especially engaging with the autistic partner's special interests. These are often sources of immense joy, deep knowledge, real passion for them. Joining in, showing genuine interest, even just being present while they engage with it, can be a really powerful, low-pressure way to bond. It's quality time that often bypasses some of the trickier communication dynamics.
Finding that common ground through shared joy. I like that.
Ultimately, successful relationships with an autistic partner, they're built on the same things all good relationships are built on. Respect, kindness, commitment, wanting it to work. The real key, maybe the slight shift in approach, is consciously choosing curiosity over assumption and choosing clear, explicit communication over those indirect hints that can get lost in translation. So here's something to think about. By truly embracing those differences, understanding them, and really committing to working together as a team, maybe these couples can build something incredibly strong, lasting, and loving precisely because of their unique dynamic, not despite it. Something uniquely theirs. Thanks for listening to this Autism Infocast from the autisminfocenter.org.
Thank you, Jemima and Theo. I'm sure we've all learned something there today. Don't forget to visit autisminfocenter.org to hear our other episodes, browse our library of articles, see our inspiring range of books, watch our videos about autism and neurodiversity, and find out about training courses that can help you or your organization make the world a safer, happier, and more meaningful place for us all. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, please feel free to spread the word about Autism Info Center. A quick mention on your socials is always appreciated. Until next time, this is Peter Clark from autisminfocenter.org. Have a great day.